Hi everyone, welcome to week 3. I hope you all had a wonderful spring break. It was bizarre to me to have a break after 2 weeks of class, but if you've been in the semester for the full 16 weeks, then this was a very nice break, I'm sure. So this week, we're going to move into more about global health financing and implementation. So for this one, for this first part of the week that you'll look at global, sorry, my dog is drinking water. It's very distracting. Chapter 6 and 7, and take the quizzes, and you'll be doing a nation research assignment. So this one, we're going to look at social progress index scores. And I recommend that I recommend and you need to watch this TED Talk to really learn what a social progress index score is and how it's calculated. And then you'll be completing a discussion board. So here is the website that you'll go to after you watch the TED Talk. You'll choose a nation, but there are a few criteria. It has to have an SPI score. Some nations do not, and they will not work for this assignment. And you cannot pick the US. You will be comparing another nation to the US as part of the assignment, so you need to choose something else. The other thing is you cannot pick a nation that somebody else has already posted about. So what you would need to do is go to this website and you'll need to scroll down here. So here you can see that there is the social progress index map. And so you can search by country. You can just choose one. Oh, I realized that. Okay. Now you can see the country that it's identifying. So you would choose one, and you'll see that there is a score and a rank. And you would click on scorecard to view more information about it. But here is a snapshot truly of what the highest and lowest scores are. So what you'll go back to is once you've identified, so I forgot which question. Sudan. So once I've identified which country I want to do, I will actually go in here and create a discussion board and say, Sudan, Greece, whatever country that you're going to choose, and just start a post about it. That way you have then claimed that country. So if somebody, let's say, starts on Tuesday, chooses a country, and somebody else on Wednesday, Thursday, any other day after that, or even later in the day on Tuesday, chooses the same country, I will be sending them a message, and you will need to choose a new country. And if you do not, you will not be receiving a grade. You will be getting a 0. So it's really important that you're looking through, and there may be a couple pages of students in the discussion board that have chosen countries. So you need to make sure that you are looking through those after you've posted your country before you start doing a bunch of research. And that is key. Don't do a lot of research before you're aware that you can do that country. So you'll see that is listed here at number 4. Okay. If you happen to post the same nation within a few minutes of each other, these are time stamped and date stamped, so I do know when that happens. It's very rare. I think it's happened one time, but I'm not going to make you both choose a new one. You will be able to move forward with both of those, but it is extremely unlikely that that's going to happen. Okay, so for this, you need to open up the scorecard, which is what I showed you the link earlier. See scorecard, so you can go right there and identify. So you'll read through the data, look at how everything's being scored, and you may need to do a bit of reading and researching to find all of the information. Once you feel like you have an understanding of the scorecard, pick the best top 3 best score areas and top 3 worst score areas. It can be subjective. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's really going to be in numerical order necessarily. It's really what you identify to be the best and the worst score areas. On your own, you need to research your nation to find out why they are doing so well in those top areas and so poorly in the top three worst. I want to see a basic explanation as to why they achieved the good or bad scores they did. So it requires a little bit more information than this is the worst score area. I would want to see that you're demonstrating knowledge and understanding of why those are some of the worst score areas or best score areas, and that you've really taken the time to do your research. I have corgis, so you think they would be quiet, but they sound like a herd of elephants. So I'm not going to redo this recording. I apologize if that was incredibly loud. Okay, so you will be conducting research, explaining why, provide a brief explanation, and don't just give me a list of these are the top three and worst three. I need to see why. So then you will compare your nation to the US by looking at their scorecard versus ours. And you're going to want to focus on those top three and worst three score areas that you've already identified. So here, if we go back, compare countries. So you can add a country and select a country. So you would identify Sudan and then put in the United States, and then it would compare those two countries. You can select up to three. I'm only asking that you compare the US to the country that you've identified. And then here is the discussion board. So 5 points. You need to name the nation and the geographical area of the world. You need to provide the social progress, I keep wanting to say social project, social progress index score and ranking, as well as the GDP, PPP, per capita, and ranking. So all of that information, if I go back to explore map and we're back to Sudan. So here is the score and rank. If you look at the scorecard, all of the information is right here. So you don't have to go very far, you just do need to click into the scorecard. 60 points. So you'll need to outline the top three best and worst score areas, and there should be a few sentences per area. Again, justify, provide an explanation, demonstrate that you've done some research in these areas. And then finally, in a paragraph, you'll explain how your nation compares to the US. Why are they the same, better, or worse? And why do you think these differences occur? And then you will have to reply to at least 2 peer posts. Again, they need to be intentional and meaningful. Ask a question, provoke new thought, move the conversation forward. Comments like, good post, that was really interesting, will not count. So this is for the first section. And then we'll go back to week 3. You'll see the second half of this week. We're moving forward into specific areas of global health. And so this starts more specific topic areas that we'll be covering over the next few weeks. So you're going to start with HIV, AIDS, and tuberculosis. You will have to complete the Chapter 8 quiz. And I would highly recommend going through these different podcasts and articles to really see what the progress has been since these diseases really first became known about. And then here, finally, you will have an infectious disease research project. So you'll see there are quite a few different diseases here. All of the questions that you'll need to be answering are down here. This assignment is worth 300 points. It's 125 points per disease plus peer responses. So what you'll need to do is I will be assigning you which disease you'll be responsible for. So on week 3, you can come into this section and you'll be able to see right here, your name should be listed out in one of these diseases, excuse me. If I missed somebody, please let me know and I'll make sure that you get assigned. It is completely random how these get assigned, and it's likely that 2 or more students will be assigned to the same disease topic. So I don't have a specific format. You can write a paper, you can do PowerPoints, you can do a bulleted side-by-side comparison. You can also enter your answers directly into the discussion board thread, but there's no really right or wrong way to complete this assignment as long as all of the information is there. So you'll go down here and you'll see the different questions that you'll need to answer for each disease. So when was it discovered? How did it impact humanity in the past? What causes the disease? Common signs and symptoms, common outcomes, and for this, really look at those secondary issues, rate of death. Is there a cure or a treatment? And if there are, what are they and how effective are they? What population is most at risk today for this disease? And for this, really, look at specific countries or different populations within a country. What are the most cost-effective measures to use against the disease? This could be prevention, treatment, both, depending on the disease. Explain why this is the most cost-effective and really what is included in those measures. So this could be vaccines, medications, mosquito nets, boiling water. There are measures for each of these. At the end, you need to provide a list of all of your sources, and these need to be in APA format. And I am expecting sources. I don't expect that anybody knows all of this information all off the top of their head. So I expect you to provide sources within the APA format. And then you'll need to respond to at least 2 of your peers. So that's a lot. So this will be open during spring break. People are welcome to get started early, but make sure that you're reviewing and going through each of the assignments every week. Again, let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing all of the great research that you guys produce.